Do you want to spoil your wife? Bam! Spring flower coming up next. Hey YouTube fragrance family, welcome to another initial impression from yours truly on a creed in the woman's aisle. This is spring flower right here. This is an initial impression, but I've smelled this fragrance a gazillion times, so it's out of the box. This is my wife's second bottle. This was her Valentine's Day gift from yours truly. So she actually depleted her first bottle of spring flower, and I decided to get her this. So because of that, might as well review this sucker. So I wanted to give you guys an initial impression. My initial impression videos are going to change from today on. I will give you not only the opening, but I do have the scent right here on me, spring flower, and I actually have Sunshine Man, which is my next video. They both have been on my skin for approximately, what, 3-4 hours. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of the dry down and what I'm getting. So a little more depth to these initial impression videos. Hopefully you're going to enjoy that, a final thought, and things like that. So let's get into it. Spring flower. A fragrance that is an oldie in the Creed genre. It was released in 1996. Noses Olivier Creed. What do I smell from this fragrance? Well, let's give you, this is the new Creed atomizers, by the way. So I'm gonna spray it on my hand here for the original introduction, and then I have it for a few hours here on my skin. So the opening, this is a beautiful scent. And you know, I'm delving more into the women's aisle to see, you know, I'm training my nose a little bit more on a lot of florals. I've been doing that for a couple years now. There's a lot of florals that are in the women's game that are not in the men's game. So this one doesn't have any of those. You know, you got rose and jasmine. I'm very much well aware what rose and jasmine smells like. Peach is a very feminine fruit, so it's used a lot. So let's see. And off the bat, a very well composed fruity floral fragrance. That's what I gotta say. Fruity florals is just like, you know, they're giving them out like chips in the women's aisle, man. Fruity florals is what it is in the women's game. Great name, spring flower. Yes, great for spring and summer. It has a very cooling aspect up the top. It has a huge, I would say the peach is the main fruit, but we also have some melon. It has a watery aspect in the opening. The apple is there, so it has a lot of fruit in the opening, and it does have some florals backing it. Now the florals, again, I'm going to get more into the dry down, but the florals in here are very minimal in the introduction. The introduction is more about the fruits. The florals are there, but they're in the backbone, and there's almost a transparent, watery type of aspect to the fragrance. I almost feel like the melon kind of gives you a almost like a watery aspect to the scent. Nicely done. Now in the dry down, more into about 3-4 hours in right now on my skin. Now this fragrance turns more into a floral, and that's why it's of course called what it's called. More into the dry down, I would say maybe half an hour in, I felt that the florals started opening up. Now the florals are actually really beautiful in this fragrance, and I had to delve a little more into my skin to really kind of dissect the floral notes in here, and the florals are absolutely amazing when you get your nose deep into it. These florals really smell like you have a rose petal like right in front of you. That's how authentic this floral is. And it's funny because I haven't really got into the Creed florals and what they utilize for florals. I've smelt some florals in some Creeds, but not that much. So this fragrance does have some sweetness to it, a little hint of sweetness, just enough for a light scent, and that's what this is. It's not really a darker scent. The florals start taking the reins approximately half an hour into the fragrance, while the fruits start dying down. There's almost a watery aspect, like I said in the opening here, to the florals, almost a crispness. I almost kind of feel like saying that there's like a little bit of rain on the rose petals. The sweetness could be from the ambergris or the jasmine. Both do give out a sweet aspect to the fragrance. My final thoughts on spring flower, again, I've only worn it for a few hours on my skin. I got a lot of Obviously, I've smelled it on my wife tons of times, but it's not your typical fruity floral in the woman's aisle at Sephora. It has some elegance to the fragrance. Now, with florals, you kind of almost run into the aspect of, especially if the florals are mixed with different kind of notes, florals can start smelling like your grandmother's perfume, right? So you got to be careful with florals. And if you put a bunch of sweetness, then it's way too, young. This fragrance has that, it tippy toes, it's elegant, but it's not childish enough that you're not smelling like a kid, but at the same time you don't smell like grandmother. So it really has that aspect that it really has a great tone to the fragrance. I think overall this is an excellent scent from the House of Creed, and at the moment my favorite from them on a woman. I can see a working lady wearing this, someone that is powerful, very assertive, has her business suit on, but also has some sexiness to her. To note, this is my wife's favorite fragrance at the moment, and it's one of my favorites on her, actually. Again, like I noted, it's her second bottle of this stuff, and she doesn't go through too many fragrances. So this is her most expensive fragrance in her whole collection. I would kind of call her a designer head. She doesn't really... she's not really huge into fragrances. So I can't wait to delve into this more. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Spring Flower. What do you guys think about my new format for initial impression? Hopefully you like a little more meat and potatoes to initial impression. Yeah, and I'll be reviewing this on my channel in the next coming months. Thank you for watching. This initial impression was brought to you by FragranceX.com. I really do want to thank FragranceX.com for Spring Flower. You can get this fragrance and many more fragrances on their website. You can utilize the Robes08 coupon code and get 15% off on your purchase.